always had great cameras, but the cameras in the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus are getting a lot of buzz. In my testing, I've gotten some impressive results, but I wanted to know how good these cameras really are. So I shipped them off to New York Times photographer and Pulitzer Prize winner Todd Heisler, and he'll let us know if it's all hype and maybe give us some tips for how to get the most out of the new iPhone cameras. Top that, Pulitzer Prize guy.
So when they asked me to check out the new iPhone 6 camera, I did as little research as possible on it because I wanted to see how it worked right out of the box. I also wanted to get a sense for how intuitive some of the new functions are. They've made several predictable changes. Better autofocus, bigger screen, and the image quality continues to improve. But there are a couple of key elements that I think really stand out. The iPhone 6 Plus goes a step further and adds optical image stabilization. But I was happy enough with the 6 and found the size easier to use. One of the most talked about additions is the slow motion video. This makes you look at things in a totally different way. Time-lapse is also another added feature, but quite frankly, it's going to be a lot more work for the average person. You need a steady hand and a lot of patience to really make it sing. The slow motion makes almost anything look interesting. It has a beautiful, sentimental quality to it. I was really surprised how it handled the light and how smooth it looks. I just want to shoot a picture over here. One of the biggest limits in most smartphone cameras is the lack of exposure control. But this is one of the few key features that is dramatically improved with iOS 8. How you use light is the key to making great photos. Previous iPhone cameras had an exposure lock, but it was limiting. The new camera has a little slider that allows you to really fine-tune the exposure. It also works while you're rolling video. He's giving me the finger. In addition, there are many more tools available to process and tone the images for the look I want. It now enables you to fine-tune the image using light, exposure, contrast, and color. With all these features built in, I don't have to use a third-party app. Thanks, man. The camera on the new iPhone 6 is getting closer to something I would rely on more often, but it still has its limitations. It's frozen. One thing I've learned as a professional, though, is that every camera has limitations. The trick is how you learn to deal with them.